Hi everybody. A lot of people have been asking me about my Caterpillar, and this is the reason why I have a Caterpillar. I have tried everything on the market for cutting, and I wanted to show you guys the difference of how things cut and pros, cons, and everything of all the different systems. So here we go. This is my beloved stash of everything. To start off, basically, I'm going to move this so I actually have room and you guys can see as I go. Okay. Alright. Let's start with the absolute basics and the way things originally started. Long time ago, Exacto knife and blade. Alright, simple, easy, cuts, great, works, no problems, no issues. Okay, piece of scratch paper. Problem with this is two things. Exacto blade, you got to get your ruler perfect. If you move your ruler, if it slides, if it whatever, it moves. Second thing is, if you hold this wonky, you're going to get a wonky cut, or if you hold it too close, you're going to cut into your ruler. Okay? No guarantee you're going to cut straight. Problem with Exacto knife. However, the Exacto knife does go with metal rulers and other types of rulers, and you can do funky things with it and everything else, and you can freehand cut, which is the good thing about it and everything else. So, got to keep it in your stash. It's also really good when you're working on projects and say you've done something and you folded it over and the lines aren't crisp and you want to get rid of that. An Exacto knife is good because you can go along the edge and you can cut those cleanly and then have the matching edge. So an Exacto knife is always a tool that you're going to want to keep in your stash and in your inventory. Ruler wise, there are two sets of rulers that I recommend as far as the Exacto knife is concerned. The Martha Stewart is one of them. Normally I hate her products. However, the reason is Martha Stewart has a coating on the back side that helps from slipping when you're on her paper. I mean, I'm moving my whole desk. And that is definitely a benefit because other rulers that I use quilting rulers a lot because I like how they work. The other rulers that I use, they move around and they don't grip and you can mess them up and everything else really easy. But this one doesn't move and it's really nice. So that's why I like that. Another reason that I like it is you can't see it too well, but it's marked really clearly with the 1/4 inch lines and the 1/8 inch lines. So I do like that because I like working with 1/8 inches. Okay. Those are the two bonuses to that. Another thing with the Exacto knife that I like is I am a stacker from hell. I like matting, and matting is my buddy, matting is my friend. So what I'm going to do really quickly and show you is okay, say I have a picture. This is where my Exacto buddy comes into play. Okay, and I want to mat this picture. If I mat this down, see I got adhesive over there, I don't care. Put it anywhere on the thing, and I have two tools called the Perfect Layers. Okay, and these are awesome because they have measurements and everything over here that what they do is there's a little catch so you can put it up against your picture on your project. Oops, they're not perfect either. No, I didn't grab the edge of it. You gotta grab, this is the only drawback to them. You gotta be working on a flat surface for one, and you gotta get the lip just right on the project. So when you're running your blade, it's running the exact lip. Okay, the problem again with these, just like the other, is they can slip, so you got to be really careful. I have a tendency with my Exacto blade to kind of move it and tilt it and bend it, and that changes the cut. So a lot of times when I'm using this system, what I will actually use is, this is a rotary cutter. It's for quilting, but it works great. It's safety. I'm not going to worry about cutting my fingers. If I go to reach for this, I'm going to cut my finger. And it gives you the same cut. And because it's a rotary cutter, as you're going along, it keeps a straight edge. The only way that it kind of changes is if you tilt it one way or the other like that, which you can do. But again, that's the drawback of freehanding. Okay, so that's those three. All right. Another thing with these two together, cutting chipboard, awesome. Okay, so that's square number 1. Square number 2. This was the old Creative Memories system. I don't know how many people remember this one. I don't know how many people ever used this one. But this worked with the principle of sliding along the mats. Unfortunately, I can't find my little blades right now, so I don't know what I did with them, so I can't show you. But the good thing about this system was, you know, it was kind of cool because it worked and you had the full 12 by 12, and then you also had a wavy and you also had a scalloped edge. That was the cool thing about this. The bad thing was it wasn't perfect. This kind of moved a little bit and you couldn't really get it all straight all the time, and so that kind of went out the window. So Creative Memories, of course, came out with their cutters. This one just happens to be the wavy set. The straight set works the same. It has a straight blade. Their cutters are kind of, they're okay. It's, you know, it's just, it's not a perfect system. Hell, I can't even move these. It's not a perfect system by any means, but it is what it is. I mean, it's Creative Memories. You get what you pay for. Obviously, right now with the Creative Memories stuff, I don't know what the deal is on whether or not you can still buy this stuff or not. It is what it is. Okay. It works okay, but again, you know, the blades are kind of rickety. They move. That's how it is. So that's Creative Memories. They also had a Guillotine. It wasn't as good as the Fiskars. It was smaller and less bulky than the Fiskars. And there's other cheaper versions out there too that I think the Hobby Lobby sells. Guillotines are good to a point. This one is great. As long as this bar right here is straight, you're all set. The other problem with this one, it's not even 8.5 by 11. This one is only like 5 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I can't get big pieces in here. You can't get like a 10 by 10 photo in here and trim a 10 by 10 photo. And then the other problem to this is if you want to do certain sizes, you can only measure up to 5 inches in width. So you kind of got to know this measurements, and then this measurements is only 1 inch. And then, you know, the good thing up here is that these are 16ths, which is great. But here's the thing. You just watched me put that down. Here's another example. If I'm going here like this, and I'm holding back here, and I put this down, it doesn't cut straight. I have to come over here and really hold this part of the blade and push my blade up against this way for it to give a straight cut. Otherwise, if I do this and just hold back here, this part here is going to bow back up, and you can see that it doesn't even give me a straight cut. Here's the 2 inches up top, and here's the 2 inches down here. That's a whole, almost full 1/4 of an inch off. It's a little over 1/8 of an inch off. That's a lot when you're working with pictures, and people don't like that. So this is good for, you know, little things and quick things, but you got to use it properly. Otherwise, it doesn't work at all. Okay? And then on top of that, it's not always perfect all the time. Even though it is a guillotine trimmer, it's not always perfect all the time. I don't know why. It's just how it is. These, you know, you got to push all the time. You have the right pressure. You got to have whatever. If you have a chip or a ding in any of the blades or anything gunking up the blades, it can move it. And It used to be my go-to because out of all of mine, it was the straightest. And it was, you know, a little bit more portable than the big bulky ones. So it used to be my absolute go-to. Not anymore. This one, this was that old as seen on TV. Pros and cons. Pros, it's got a light. It's got 2 blades. Cons, it absolutely sucks. I don't like how it cuts. It only has these measurements here, which are really crappy. I don't like the bar. I used it like 3 times. I haven't touched it since. It's crap. Just don't even, yeah, don't even go there. It's total crap. Okay, next system, older wise, is the Cutterpede systems. It came in 2 sizes. It came in the full 12x12, and then it came in the mini, which I think is, I want to say it's like 7 inches, 6 or 7 inches. Yeah, 7 inches. Great for photos and everything else. The only drawback I have to this system, it has the swing out arm as well, is it's a little bit more time consuming for your stuff. It does cut square, and I do like that. You know, no system's absolutely perfect, but of all of the rotary cutters, of all of the handheld ones, the mini portable ones, these 2 are by far the best of the system. And here's the reason. These 2 systems also have decorative blades. I don't have all of them. I think there's a scorer and there's a perforator as well. I have those. They're hiding somewhere. But they've got a decorative edge. They've got a little crinkle, they've got a wave, and they've got a scallop, which is really cool. And you can add these onto the little one or the big one, whichever. I do like that. The drawback is that you can't cut thick materials because of this arm with the way that it works. So you can't cut chipboard, you can't cut anything else like that. However, one of the new fandangle things that people are doing now is felts. And the good thing about this one is it will, because it's a rotary cutter, it'll cut felt. You got to kind of go through a few times, but it'll cut it. You know, felt's hard and a pain in the butt no matter what you do, but it'll work. You can cut the thinner chipboard in this, but I don't recommend the thicker stuff at all. Okay, but again, this is these are my go-tos if I have to go somewhere for cropping and doing stuff. Again, it's just a little bit bulkier. It's a little more time consuming because you've got this, but it is a straight cut, and the blade doesn't go dull as long. I think I've had these 2 on here for almost a year at least. So, and the blade refills are pretty inexpensive. I think they run between $6 and $8. Okay, so that's those 2. These are a good system. And then we come to everybody's popular quick. I see so many people using these, and I've used this in the past. I have found lately I don't use it at all. The reason why is because it doesn't cut straight. You know, you can go in here and you can do whatever you want. It doesn't make a straight cut. These bars on the back and the bars on the top, they're not set right. I don't know what the deal is, but there's times when my papers just do not come out square, and it's really weird. So I've stopped using it. And another thing is, you know, unless you're holding this perfect against this and against however you're holding this, if you move this, you can move it. I mean, if you really go to do that, you can mess it up really good. Another problem is once the blade starts getting dull, this stops being a clean cut. I'm already starting to get some little fray edges and everything else, and you know what, I just put this blade on here. So your blade doesn't last very long. It's $7.99, $8 for 2 blades. You can use 40% off coupon at Michael's, so you can get them down to $3, which is good because you're going to be replacing them every 2 weeks. I guarantee it, especially if you cut a lot like I do. And I kind of don't like this bulkiness anymore. I mean, I appreciated that it was this full 6 inches this way. And it was my go-to for a long time because it did have the little wire guide here so I could see where I was cutting. It just wasn't very reliable. Another thing that I really hate about this one is I know you're using this to cut and you're using this measurements as well, but I really want the full grid. I like my projects being square, and if I have something here that says, you know, that has the lines, then that shows me that it's square more quickly than if I have to go like this and then turn it and realize, oh, it's not square. So I do like the full grid, and I would have appreciated that on this, but unfortunately not happening. So yeah, great for on the go, and if you're not anal retentive about perfect square cuts like I am, it's good. I would recommend the Cutter Pede over this any day, but it's an okay go-to. One thing I forgot to show you is, I don't know if you can find this little guy anymore, but he's kind of cool. And the reason he's kind of cool is because I hate fussy cutting. I hate fussy cutting with a passion. Rather than take my scissors and cut out here, I hate that. This was the old Blade Runner. I can't remember. Okay, no wait, EK Success made it? Yep, they sure did. EK Success made this. And it's really cool because I do so much of my fussy cutting with this. That's, you know, that's it. And, you know, if you really wanted to, you could do internal cuts as well, which is cool. And this has been my go-to for the last, I don't know, year. And it's really funny because it was one of the first types of cutters that I bought about 10, 11 years ago. And it just sat in my stuff for forever. I never used it. It was a pain in the butt. Yeah. But for some reason lately, with my glass mat, you have to use it with the glass mat. It won't work on the self-healing. I've just been using it again, and it's been really, really awesome. If you have the rulers and stuff like that, that have the wavy edge, not so much the closer ones like the decal or the tear, but like the wavy edge one, this will work with it, believe it or not. And that's kind of cool. It gives you a nice clean edge if you want a clean edge versus your straight edge. I don't know on this one, I don't know with the ruler how much longer the ruler lasts. Or not the ruler, the blades. I don't know if I have any replacement blades for this one. I think it uses the same swivel blade that Elastic uses. Or not Elastic, what am I saying? That the Fisker's Exacto knife, not the Fisker. Yeah, okay. The Rotary Exacto blade. It's purple. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. But anyways, so it's kind of cool. But I like that I can cut in freehand and do whatever kind of little things that I want. And it's a nice little thing. And like I said, it's been my go-to to go back to for quite some time now. So, I really like it. But yeah, you have to use a glass mat. Only drawback. Okay. Coupe de Gras. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, I got one more. Haha. That piece of crap. This, Martha Stewart came out with this, and I don't even think she actually sells it anymore. But I'll give it a whirl anyways. This was her tool. The only reason why I keep this around, because this is a beautiful, beautiful ruler. It has that non-slip like the other one did. But the drawback to it is it's not flat on the bottom because of this piece. You can take that piece off, but when you're using it, it's not flat. But anyways, so this is the ruler, and kind of pros and cons with it. again, you're up to measuring and everything else. This big wonky piece here is for this, and it hooks in right here like this. This hooks down, and it works just like a rotary cutter, and gives you your special cuts. Again, pros and cons. Yeah, I don't use it. It's so hard to promote it because I don't use it. I got it on sale at Michael's because I thought it'd be cool. And, you know, it has its pros and cons. It's got changing blades, and they're really easy to change out, which I guess is kind of good. You know, and it gives you different cuts. Oops, let's move it. I guess one of the other benefits that you could say to this one too is it is a right or left-handed unit. So you switch it that way, and then you bring it over. I don't think I can. And then it'll cut either way. So yeah, I guess it does have its kind of perks and bonuses in that regard. I don't really even remember what this piece of it was for. I just know that it kind of clips on there. I will say that it's the perfect size to roll my diapers with when I do diaper cakes. I kind of clip one up here and pull it down and roll it up. It works great. And that's what I use it for. So, yeah. Yeah, it's one of those systems. I'm not a big Martha fan. She has a new cutting board out right now. It is it's her scoreboard combined with a cutting system on it, combined with the envelope stuff and everything. I'm sure it's a great product. I would never pay the price for it because I already have an envelope board, so I wouldn't do that, and also because I have, ta-da! This is the Caterpillar. It is upside down for a reason. I'm left-handed. So when I run a blade, I like running it with my left hand. And for me, it's much easier to butt things this way and run the blade than it is to put things up this way and hold with my left and try and run it with my right. I'm not good at that at all. So I just flipped it over and I cut this way. I can't say enough about this machine. The gridding system, it goes 1/4 of an inch on the full grid, so you can see what you're doing. The ruler here is actually in 1/16 of an inch increments, so I can, I can cut a 1/16 of an inch off of my my papers, and it'll cut it. Another thing is, if somehow, say you've screwed this up, here's an example you can see. Okay, it's screwed up. Say you've done that. If you go back in, you can fix that. Here's the paper, and here's the square. Okay, this is the most perfect square cutting I have ever done. I love this. I love that you can fully cut. It cuts just over 12 inches. I think it cuts almost 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, it cuts 12 inches lengthwise. So if you have those pages that have the little lip over the top with the little price code and a description of the paper, if you want to cut it that way, you got to cut that off first. Otherwise, it won't cut it all the way. It does work on a rotary system. It's a self-healing, or not self-healing, self-sharpening blade that cuts against here. This bar here is very, very sharp that it cuts against. The blade moves in and out of the way. You can still kind of cut yourself if you have your hands in the wrong position. But all in all, there's also a light system. Mine need new batteries because I use it so much. But there is a light system, and that shines through to show you underneath where you're cutting with pictures. It's really awesome. I can't say enough about this machine. If you want to cut, and I don't know if you can see, but if you want to cut just the tiniest of slivers off your paper, you can. I can't say enough about it. I'm hoping they decide to come out with a smaller, more portable version, like a 6" by 12 or a 6x6 even, I would like. Rumor has it it's in the works, but hey, you never know. But again, it is, depending on where you buy it, depending on where you find it, it varies between $99 to $120, but it's well worth it because you never buy another blade. This blade is guaranteed for your life. You'll never have to use any other system. The only drawback to it is it's not as portable as most systems, but it sits on my desk and I use it all the time. It does have a little drawer which you can put some scissors and projects, and it's a full 12 by 12 drawer, which is kind of cool. But there it is. This is my coup de grace, and like I said, those are the other trimmers. This guy, I think, was $24.99, but you can use your coupon at Michael's. This one runs, I think, depending on where you buy it, between $9 and $12. $24.99, I think, for the Caterpillar. Michael's used to carry it. They don't anymore. You can find the pink one every so often, very rarely. Piece of crap, won't even tell you how much that costs. I believe this one was $16.99, I think. I'm not sure. But again, Michael's, you can use a coupon. The Creative Memories, again, I don't remember their prices, and they are available with select people still, but they're hard to find now because Creative Memories with their problems. So I hope you guys like that. It's my description of all of our different cutters that I have had, I have used, and what I go to. I go to my Exacto knife and my Rotary Cutter, and I use my Caterpillar Pro, and for traveling I use my Cutter B Heed and my Cutter B. I hope that helps everybody. If there's any questions, go ahead and leave them on my thing. Thanks for watching.